I wanted to do a follow-up video to one of my very first videos that I did. The only thing is I did that video before I actually came to Korea, and I was just speaking in broad, general terms about the financial opportunity of coming to Korea to teach English. And I think it's the big question that everybody always seems to kind of get back to, what they're going to be looking at for potential income based on their contract and other income opportunities. And what are expenses like here? And what I wanted to do is give you some feedback now that I've been here for 4 months on what my basic expenditures are monthly for all the different expenses that you're going to incur that are no different than what you have to be responsible for back home. The first thing that I wanted to go over is what your income is going to be. And in my case, I teach in a public school. So I'm paid by the Office of Education here in my city, which happens to be Busan. I have in my hand my contract. And on each person's contract, you're going to find the very first thing that they list on there are the different pay scales that you can fall under. And they range from the lowest pay scale, being called a level 3, all the way up to a 1 plus. Starting pay for a level 3 teacher in the public school system is 1.8 million won. That is a level 3. And that essentially comes out to about $1,700 or $1,800 US dollars per month. Level 3 is obviously base level, no experience, no certification or anything like that. The top scale is a 1 plus, and the pay level for that is 2.5 million won. 2.5 million won coming out to approximately $2,400-$2,500 per month. And the way those are figured are all based on your experience, your education, and any additional certifications that you might have, such as your TESOL certification. You can also affect your monthly income by doing extra work on the side or doing overtime if it's built into your contract. And generally, it is defined in your contract that you would get paid for overtime. But obviously that has to be offered to you and okayed by your school, namely your principal or someone of a pretty senior level. Also, what I've heard is there are a few teachers out there that look for extra teaching opportunities. That's all up to you if you want to do that. Technically, you're not supposed to do that, but some teachers do that, and that's tutoring on the side, picking up a little extra money that way. I know of some other teachers who have worked on radio stations and done other types of teaching gigs on the side, not necessarily tutoring. So all those things affect the amount of income that you're going to make every month. No different than when you were back home, the amount of money that you save is all based on how you budget your expenses. And everybody is very different on that, on how frugal they are, what types of activities they do on the side, what kind of food they spend their money on, things of that nature. Considering the fact that your rent is paid for, your biggest expense generally is going to be your food. Here in Korea there's a store, for instance, called Home Plus, and that's very similar. When you first walk in, you'll see that it's very similar to a store called Target, the way it looks, the way it's laid out, and you can find essentially everything there: food, clothing, all those electronics, and all those things there. Now you do pay a little bit more, just like you would at any mainstream department store such as Target, than you would, say, going to a smaller market that tries to cut prices and things like that. I typically always go to Home Plus to buy my food, my groceries. I typically go food shopping about once every week or week and a half, sometimes 2 weeks if I really stretch it. And I spend approximately 40 to 50,000 won, which is, say $40 or $50. So that comes out to about, let's, 120 1,000 to say 150,000 won each month. So we'll just say 140 or $150 just for groceries. As much as you want to think that you're going to eat at home all the time, um, you're likely going to be spending time with friends, with your co-teachers, with other foreign teachers, going out to restaurants, trying the local food, getting comfort food that reminds you of home if you're looking for that, or just something that hits the spot. And now in Korea, you can get, at least in a city like Busan, you can get essentially any type of food that you're looking for and any type of food that you could get back home. Some of the big ones that I'm always getting whenever I eat out, if it's not Korean food, are things like pizza and fried chicken. And if there's one thing that is a definite win here in Korea, is fried chicken. Koreans love fried chicken, and they are very good at cooking it. It just is, chicken is not heavy. It's got a lighter, crispier batter, so it's very good. For example, I go to a fried chicken place down the street, cost me about 8,000 won. It's about $7 or $8, and you get 8 huge pieces of fried chicken. It's quite a bit of food. Pizza is also very big here. Places such as, or in the style of a Domino's pizza. I know there's the place that I go to is called Pizza School. There's Pizza Time, there's pizza everything. Bunch of different places for pizza. Now, generally speaking, you can get a pie that is approximately, I think, probably 12, 13 inches. A basic cheese pizza or pepperoni pizza is about 5,000 won, which is under $5. Well, that's a pretty killer deal. So if you like pizza and you like styles such as Domino's, then you're gonna have a good time eating out when you're looking to find some pizza. Whenever I can, I try to go out and get Korean food. It reminds me of growing up eating Korean food in my family. I'm half Korean, and it also is a good way to spend time with your co-teachers or getting to know other local or native Korean people. That's generally going to cost you between 3,000 and 10,000 won, $3 to $10, depending on what you get. You can get a basic little rice dish called bibimbap. It's got a bunch of vegetables in there, a little egg, $3 or $4, 3 or 4,000 won. And then you can get more expensive meals all the way up to $10 or $15 per person, per plate. That's without drinks. Then there's the all-famous Korean street food. And Korean street food essentially is mandu, which are dumplings that are fried, kimbap, which is rice with some vegetables rolled in a big sheet of seaweed and then cut up, tteokbokki, which is basically these things that are chewy, made out of rice. They are in the shape of like a cheese curl, and then they're cooked in this kind of a red pepper sauce or pasty sauce. And then there's also a soup that they have there that's in a broth. It's made with like compressed or processed like a fish cake, and it's really good on a cold day. If you get a couple of those items, that's roughly going to cost you about 3 or 4,000 won. It's great for on the run, hits the spot, tastes good, and they're everywhere. I think the biggest variable for anyone who comes to Korea or to another country to teach is how they spend their money on their extracurricular activities. Going around the city, sightseeing, going out to eat, going out partying with friends, any type of extracurricular activity, that varies from person to person. It's hard to put a finger on it. So all I can do is just tell you what mine basically comes out to. Now I'm not fresh out of college, obviously, so the desire to go out partying, say 2 or 3 times a week, is long, long gone. But I do go out maybe once a month, and just hang out with some other teachers, have a couple of drinks or something like that. If you do that, then you're going to be okay. If you're going out 2 or 3 times a week, you will quickly see your money go away. The other thing that I do is I practice judo. I have some videos on my channel and YouTube that show me walking back and forth to the gym, you know, things like that. Next week, we're in our winter break right now. Next week I'm going to be traveling to Tokyo, Japan to visit the birthplace of judo and work out there. I'm pretty involved with that sport, so I practice it here regularly, about 3 times a week. And a sport like judo or another martial arts, say like taekwondo or hapkido or kumdo, which is like fencing or sword fighting, also known as kendo in Japan, it's roughly going to cost you about 100,000 won a month. In my case, it's about 70,000 won, and I'm within walking distance to the dojo, to the gym. So I think of that as a pretty small investment to keep myself busy, to keep myself in shape, keep myself sane, and to blow off some steam. So it depends on who you are and what you're doing with your time. There's so many things to do and see. Landmarks, temples, these big huge shopping centers, sporting events, all the different sites and parks of the city will give you more than enough stuff to do that you don't have to stay at home or spend your time kind of throwing your money away on going out all the time, because that's a big drain on your money.